All right, now this is the guy we call the coach, all right, this the team doctor. He was 75 years old. He had to stop working as an orthopedic surgeon because of cognitive decline. And probably 74, I started seeing him when he was 75. I looked at him and just said, you know, I'm not going to do any tricky stuff with you right now because I'm not sure that we have a really solid metabolic baseline. So I can see from a wavi scan that he's got changes that we'll talk about in a few minutes, you know, that the spectral changes in the amplitude of the P300. But he wasn't, it didn't really show signs of dementia on the scan, it just showed signs of a reduction in activity. So there's dementia and then there's cognitive decline. And cognitive decline can have multiple underlying problems. And so what happened is I just said, you know, I'm not an expert in, you know, cardiovascular medicine, so I sent him to a guy in Denver. His name is Boone. Boone's from Kansas State. And Jeff Boone is the doctor for the NFL Alumni Association, right, as a cardiologist. And so he takes a look at the other doc and says, your cholesterol is too high, you know, there's a whole bunch of things we can do. And before we worry about your brain, let's worry about your cardiovascular system and let's, you know, clean it out. So go ahead, next slide. And so that's Boone's logo and stuff. And he really is using the wavi system on all his patients, and he's showing really dramatic improvements temporarily over years. Temporarily meaning, you know, you can get like 5 years of improvement on somebody with cerebral vascular dysfunction and also other kinds of dysfunction. But that's a big deal. Okay, keep going. He doesn't have Alzheimer's. We thought he had Alzheimer's, but he didn't. So he was the Olympic doc and all that stuff. So anyway, we did started out, Dr. Boone got 6.5. I got like 4 when I did it, all right? And then as Dr. Boone continued to improve his you know, his vascular system, he just blew out all the cholesterol he could, and got him to exercise, got him to reduce alcohol intake in adult doctors. Okay, things improved, and so Boone got 6'5", 12, and then 16 over a 3-year period. That's a big deal, and his function, you know, was pretty darn normal. Okay, and so now from a practitioner standpoint, this slide and the next one are very important because it just shows that if you do a good, you know, basic metabolic workup, you can see where things fall out of line. I mean, I was surprised that he had an IL-6 that was that elevated because that's a, you know, inflammatory marker. Blood pressure was certainly elevated, especially under stress, and all we do in stress is just ask him to you know, to count or to read something out loud, and that causes an increase in blood pressure while you're doing the test. And then ejection fraction was pretty darn good. Anyway, so next slide. So this would be at age 78. Now, great. So at 75, he had to stop practicing. 76, 77, I started treating him and say, hey, look, I don't know where else to go. Let's get some help. So 78, he has, you know, that 6.5 with Dr. Boone. And then reaction time was not so bad now. Sometimes his reaction time got worse when his brain got better, and that's just because he made some mistakes on doing the test. So the reaction time, you all know what I'm talking about when I say physical reaction time with the wavi system. where you hear the tone, you hear the oddball tone, you go to click the mouse. If you miss the mouse, you, your score gets screwed up. So it's more of a technical issue rather than a brain processing issue, because when you looked at his brain speed, it was still pretty damn good. Okay. But this is the key. His brain power improved from 6.5 up to 12 over a 1 year period. After the cholesterol got cleared out, decreased alcohol intake, improved sleep, and increased exercise. Um, and he didn't. Okay, cholesterol went from 214 to 118, but the low density really dropped. So, and then you can see the other, I think, triglycerides uh, and APO. So anyway, metabolically he improved, and from a brain standpoint, or brain function standpoint, he improved, and he was really a different person. You could tell the difference. He had more zip. He was more, he wasn't asking questions over and over again. So that was great, and he managed to do well for about 3 or 4 years, and then he kind of plateaued, and then he started to decline again, and then he just passed away about after he fell down, hit his freaking head.